I love that man, Robbie Robertson. Go see his show. He has a great podcast also. He's one of the most talented, I mean super talented musicians on the planet. If you've ever watched his podcast, he has a young lady that he works with, And he does all this recording in his studio. When you watch him play that keyboard, it's almost, I've seen it with Frankie, but when he does it on his show, he has the freedom to go all different ways. Robbie Robertson, if you're watching, there's only one of you. Never to be another. You're incredible.
Thank you, Robbie. Good evening, Jammers. I hope you've had a really great weekend. And welcome to the first Monday of August in 2025. Life is just moving really fast, isn't it? But football is back, and we'll have it every week until January. Life is good, and God is good. I don't have to pay attention to baseball anymore, which I didn't do in the first place. Any rate, from the gospel lesson for yesterday, Luke chapter 12, verses 13 through 16. Someone in the crowd said to him, "Teacher, tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me." But he said to him, "Man, who made me a judge or arbiter over you?" And he said to them, "Take care and be on your guard against all covetousness, for one's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions." And he told them a parable. I've always had the impression that the crowds following Jesus were very well-behaved and well-mannered, and they were always very cautious and careful of one another, all of that. And Luke just blows that out of the water this morning, or this evening as we're talking, because we get a completely different impression of the crowds. Here you have a man who's interrupting Jesus while he's trying to teach. And in verse 1 of chapter 12, we read, "In the meantime, when so many thousands of people had gathered together that they were trampling one another, he began to say to his disciples, 'First, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy.'" Can you picture it? So many people trying to get to Jesus that they're shoving one another aside, and if somebody falls down in front of them, they just step on them and move on. That's really indicates that they're thoughtless, they're self-absorbed, they're inconsiderate. It's the attitude of, I want to hear Jesus and you're in my way, so I'm going to shove you out of the way. Knowing 2,000 years later what Jesus came for and why he came, it's difficult for us to imagine that kind of behavior because it's completely contrary to the message of the gospel. But it is very consistent with our human nature. Why do you think that Jesus focused on covetousness? Because that's where the human heart is. Our human heart and our human nature is selfishness and self-centeredness. Life is about me, and it's about what I want and what I think I need. I suspect that this is not the first time that someone interrupted Jesus while he was trying to teach. I'm sure he had to deal with this kind of thing often. But it illustrates a point. And Jesus tells us life is more than what we have or what we can hold on to. Corrie ten Boom, who survived the Nazi concentration camps of World War II, put it this way: hold everything lightly, otherwise it hurts when God pries your fingers open. Someone else said it this way: you'll never know how much you have until all you have is Jesus. The problem is not our wealth or our possessions. It's not the things that we have. It's that we place our faith and our trust in those things, and they make them then our security and our comfort. And even though we know that deep down inside of us that we can lose these things, like they say in a nanosecond, they can be taken away from us, we still do that. Jesus invites us to something more secure. In verses 30 and 31 of Luke 12, he says, "Everyone seeks after these things, and your Father knows that you need them. Instead, seek his kingdom, and all these things will be given to you." Verse 32, he tells us, "Fear not, little flock. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom." May I remind you also of what Paul writes in Romans chapter 8, verses 32 and 31 and 32, where he says, "What then shall we say to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all, how will he not also with him graciously give us all things?" Jesus gave up everything: his divine glory, his power, his majesty, his life, in order to invest it in you. That's how important you are to him. He gave up everything. If you have Jesus, beloved, what else do you need? Because you have everything, and it's the Father's good pleasure to give you his kingdom. And he graciously gives us, as Paul reminds us, all things. Let's pray. Father in heaven, take away our fears and anxieties over the things of this world, and help us to realize when we have you, we have everything we need. Help us to trust you no matter the difficulties or struggles of life that we might face. Help us to find peace, that peace which surpasses all understanding, through our faith in your Son, Jesus Christ. Thank you, Father, for all you have done for us. In Jesus' name, we thank you for our talents, our abilities, and most of all, our salvation. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, Robbie, back to you. Have a great evening, everyone. God bless.
Hey, thank you, Pastor Chuck, and thanks for everybody. Sorry for that little glitch here at the beginning. In my setup here, my mad setup, it's been a scramble right before we got on the air here. You know what I forgot to do was hook up the microphone, and I realized you cannot hear anything without a microphone. So there you have it. So we're back in the groove here. And tonight we're going to talk about Mohegan Sun Memories. And thank you for that good word, Pastor Chuck. I want to clarify one thing with Pastor Chuck and correct one of his errors. Baseball is definitely a better sport than football. Not that I want to start any arguments here on the air, but baseball is the greatest invention ever invented by man. That's my take. But I digress. So let's, we always start with a song that kind of relates to Pastor Chuck's message. And this is a song that I wrote a few years ago, and it hasn't been, you know what, a lot of my praise songs I have not released on Robbie's Records. One of these days, we're going to have to really start cranking things out on Robbie's Records. But this is a song kind of inspired by Frankie Valli's musical style, and this is the Trinity Lutheran praise team doing a song that I wrote called Remember Who. And if I can find it here, if I can find the right track, then I think we'll just go to that. Let's see here. Where are those songs here? Oh, they're down here. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Remember Who. Where are you? Here it is. All right, everybody, enjoy this. I'll be back in a minute.
Remember who? Remember who? Remember who? God's one and only Son. Remember who? My Savior, Holy One. Remember Jesus, because He remembers you. Remember who loves all the world so much. Remember who
of your heart, call out his name. Jesus, Jesus, hear me, Lord. My Lord, my God, I will proclaim.
Remember who, when tears are flowing down. Remember who, where perfect peace is found. Remember Jesus, because he remembers you. Remember who, remember who. He's rich in mercy, he's rich in grace, a faithful friend to see you through. Jesus, Jesus, hear my prayer. My Lord, might I remember you. Remember who is Lord of everything. Remember who, this day we praise and sing. Remember Jesus, because he remembers you. Remember Jesus, because he remembers you.
Amen. Remember Jesus because he remembers you. And I know that many of you Frankie Valley fans and Frankie Valley experts, who we have quite a number in the audience, will recognize the similarities between some of the Frankie Valley musical styles. Matter of fact, that was Fino Roverato in there with us, too, who used to be with Frankie Valley in the Four Seasons for, gosh, about a 10-year run, I think. So, first of all, I didn't get a chance to say hi to everybody, so because my microphone was not even there. It wasn't muted. It wasn't even there. So hello, Bob Steve, my buddy from Litchfield. And George, I'm another one of those Frankie Valley experts. Good to see you, buddy. Pete Lauschus from my friend from St. Louis. Pete, by the way, and I'm sure many of you jammers know because it's becoming quite a community here in Jam and Java land. Pete Lauschus used to live in Mont Olive. He played in a band with my brother Rex. He's a Hammond organ player, but he and I both took piano lessons from the same teacher, Mrs. Helen Neiman, in Mont Olive, Illinois. Barry McCann, it was great to see Barry and Ronell. I've got some great pictures. It was really a lot of fun this past weekend to get a chance to see and hang out with a lot of my friends out there. Hello, Barbara from Atlanta. Thanks for watching. Tom Grable is going to be tuning in from where? Here, where? Let me get it up here again. Where did it go? From Aruba. Wow. You're on vacation. Jennifer Green. Hello, Jennifer. From Clare, Michigan. Thanks for watching. All right. Senior B. Hello, Senior B. Larry Visaki, it was great hanging out with you, Larry Visaki, this weekend. Our youngest, now 18 years old. He just had a birthday a couple weeks ago. Mr. Alex, the original Alex. And Anthony Colatrello, it was great to see you a couple weeks ago in Pittsburgh. Yes, best wishes to Carmen and Basil. We have made some personnel changes in our band. And there was no animosity or anything like that. It was a change that needed to be made for a number of reasons. And so we wish Carmen and Basil all of the best. We have a new guitar player who started this weekend with us. His name is Chris Vasquez. Frankie had some trouble getting his name right, but he was killing it. He sounded great. I wish I had some videos of Chris Vasquez. Hello, Lynette Case and David Case. Another Frankie Valley expert, Bob Bothwell. Hello, brother, and Tom. Oh, we'll see you later this month. And KP Lynn, thank you so much. KP is one of the, you are so productive I appreciate everything you do, all those articles you do. Is my voice low now? Let me see here. It should be here. Let me see. I'll crank it just a pinch here, see if that's any better. Hello, Carol Del Monte. I think that was before. Maybe that was an older. Let's see who else. John Kratzer, trumpet player from Texas, and John, he had been going to Australia, and Pastor Pearson says boring. I think obviously referring to baseball. Hello, Matt Fritz. Dominic in the house. Hey, that picture looks familiar. I think I took that picture. The new guy is fantastic, Larry says. All right, listen. So tonight, we're going to focus on a couple things. This past weekend, we went to Friday night, and Friday night we played in Youngstown, Ohio. Saturday night we played in Mohegan Sun, which is this fantastic arena. Yeah, Dominic. And hey, Steve, I got a chance to see Steve and Ann at both shows. I'm glad that you guys, two of the most faithful fans that we have out there, no question, have been coming to see Frankie Valli for about as long. And Carol Ann Reich, your best 33rd show. Wow, that's impressive. This, by the way, this graphic here, this is one of the screenshots from the Mohegan Sun video. By the way, and if you don't know about that, let me see here. Let me see if I go here to some. Well, that's not what I want. How about this one? In 2022, we went to this Mohegan Sun arena, which is a 10,000-seat arena in Uncasville, Connecticut. And it's part of this big, giant casino there in Uncasville. It's a great venue. We play there every year and have for decades. And the biggest names in the music business play there. Hey, John, yes. I'm going to digress a little bit. So if you've got questions for me, fire away because I've got answers for you, hopefully. John Kranzer says, I hope you got a chance to hear Rick's new album, Heroes. It's unbelievable. He's talking about Rick Keller's new album. Yes, it is great. I have had a chance to hear that, and I know he's finally finished. So this is the stage that we did at the Mohegan Sun Arena, and you can kind of see some of I'm looking for. By the way, there's the set list that we did that night. This was in 2022. It was on, we recorded this show on April the 15th. And since we were going to TV, they had to make me look younger. There you go. So the makeup being done here. So there's another shot from that. Carol Del Monte over 20 times. Fantastic. So I'm going to play, and there are a lot of really great videos, and it was directed by Jerry Foley, and I've got some great clips because Jerry Foley was our guest in August of 2022, and sadly, very sadly, he passed away. He died last year in March of a skiing accident. But let's go to the first. Let's go to one of the first videos here. The whole show. You got to go check it out on YouTube. It's all over. It was broadcast in PBS all over the nation back in August and September of 2022, and then it comes back every now and then, like so many of those PBS shows do. But here is. Well, actually, let's start with the beginning. This is the opening. Now, do I have it here? Oh, gosh. Oh, yeah, here it is, right here. This is the opening of the PBS special, and it's called Frankie Valli, A Life on Stage, very appropriately titled. So here's the opening clip, and then it segues into our first song, which is Grease, but here it is.
There are times when you just know something good is going to happen. It isn't very often, and sometimes not at all. In Frankie's life, it only happened once, but once was all he needed. My partner forever, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
All right, that was kind of a drastic ending there on the video, but So that's a taste of Frankie on Four Seasons, and I really think this is going to be one of the definitive um, records of the Frankie Valli touring band. We've only done 3 videos as long as I've been with Frankie, which is now 47 years, if you can believe that. And we did one in 1982. That one was Richie Gajate Garcia. This is I'm going to go ahead and kind of interrupt my thinking here to respond to comments. So go ahead and comment away, but guys. Steve Kritzer, my buddy Steve Kritzer, who's been very helpful for me in some of my social media stuff, especially Wikipedia stuff. But yes, that song Grease is monumental. It was written, by the way, by Barry Gibb. And one of the things that I was telling Frankie the other day, he played for me years ago, and I want him to see if he can find it. He has a cassette of when Barry Gibb sent him the song originally for him to hear it and to evaluate it, the song Grease, of just Barry singing it and playing guitar. And Senior B says, much better production values than the usual iPhone videos. Yes, no doubt, because this was... the way we did it, it was a 10-camera shoot. So they shot it with 10 different cameras. I have some clips from when Jerry Foley, the director, was on the show with me back in 2022, and he talks about that. But it was a 10-camera shoot, and of course we recorded all the audio, and then I was able to do the mixing on all the audio. So, along with a great engineer, we did all the mixing, and that's what you hear. So you hear it, hopefully, more like a record than you would an iPhone video. Yeah, it's amazing. But John, by the way, hi, John. John Kratzer, everybody, is a great trumpet player who plays with us on a regular basis in Texas. By the way, we have some shows coming up in Texas, so we need to talk. I don't know if you're back in. I know that you were in Australia. So I was talking about, what was I talking about? I was talking about how we shot that show, I guess. But I've got some old pictures here. Let's go back to some of the pictures. I think I went through these real quick, didn't I? These are some pictures from 2022 at the Mohegan Sun. There's the makeup lady. Of course, that was right after 2022. COVID was still kind of in the works. And again, there's the song. So we opened with Working My Way for that show. Interesting. I forgot about that, actually. That's our monitor engineer, Mo O'Malley, who is from Chicago. He's been with us for about 20 years, and he's a super talented monitor engineer. Then we have another front of house guy named Jim Sanders, Redford. There's, again, the stage as they were setting up. It's amazing how fast. I mean, of course, I don't know how many people they have on the crew, but they set up that whole arena for a show. Of course, then they have, next night they might have a fight. They've got Eric Clapton in there. They've got all the biggest stars. Let's see who's Steve Kritzer. 10-camera shoot producer on your show. Well, there was a director and yes. John says, I'm back in now. I could do all in Texas. All right, let's talk. We'll talk this week then and get those lined up. Doug Orlando, who I'm going to see in Texas. No, actually, I'm sorry, Doug. I always wondered if you're related to Tony Orlando, who I talked to. Tony Orlando, this was a home for Tony, too, Mohegan Sun. This is one of he had played here for decades and decades, and he did his final show here last year at the and he came on great. We did some great Jam and Java shows with Tony Orlando, and we'll be talking about him. He and I are going to do a couple things in the future. Tony is such a talented guy, but he did his final show here, and I also want to, if you can go and watch any of my shows on Jam and Java. Just go to YouTube, Jam and Java page, and you can see any of the shows. They're archived, all 5 years of them. Well, I'm sure it's not that, Tony, huh, Doug? Doug is a Hammond organ brother. Thank you, Michael Crosby. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up to promote the algorithm. Yes, that's for sure. That always helps. So here, more pictures of the stage here. And there I am on the stage before the show. And there's the empty arena, and that's Joe. And Joe is another audio engineer for us. We have 3 audio engineers that travel with us. I was mentioning that in 2022, in August, when the show started getting aired, I had on as a guest on Jam and Java, Jerry Foley, who's a super talented director. I mean, for 20 years, he was the director on the David Letterman show. And so I've got a couple clips here. I thought might be interesting. And here, I'll just let the clip speak for itself. Mr. Jerry Foley interview. Here it goes. There's a taste of Frankie Valli live at the Mohegan Sun, which was captured by our next guest, one of the great directors in the business. Welcome, Jerry. Oh, there they are. You did such a brilliant job. I've been telling people it was a 10-camera shoot. Am I accurate or not?
That's accurate, yeah.
That's a lot of cameras, kid.
Well, there's a lot going on that stage, particularly when you and your band are operating. So you want to catch as much of that as you can.
Well, thanks for that. But tell the audience, I'm very curious, you get started on a concert like this and you have a clean slate. As a matter of fact, I've got a picture. Let me see if I can get to that picture. There's the slate that you started with.
That's right.
Big empty arena. And then they bring in all the gear and all the equipment, and then you brought in all the 10 cameras and booms and operators, and it was like a circus in many respects. But tell us how you get started to put together a show like this. I'm really curious what the thoughts are behind the director.
I think it starts out with a film that impacted me greatly called The Last Waltz.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, at least in my lifetime, one of the first times that cameras got up close on the stage and that we got a good glimpse of the mechanics of performing, which a lot of people don't get to see. I go into a blank, empty arena like that, and I immediately flash back to The Last Waltz. How can we get our viewers that intimate, privileged access that you can't really get even in the audience? You can't stand on the stage during a concert. You can't be interacting with musicians during a concert. So I'm motivated to get up close and personal, be as intimate as possible, and kind of always are remembering the all-access pass that most people covet. And when you work in television, your life is an all-access pass. It's wonderful.
How does a TV director get started? How did you get started, brother?
I was very fortunate because I was drawn to theater and film and television at a very early age. And I kept waiting to outgrow it or lose my enthusiasm for it. And the opposite happened. The more I learned, the more excited I got. I grew up outside of New York on Staten Island. There were areas of Staten Island where you could see Manhattan as this faraway land of Oz. And it was in Manhattan that NBC and ABC and CBS were, at the time, the 3 big networks doing all the impactful, fun stuff. And it was a goal not only to get to the big leagues of television, but to get into Manhattan. And I was fortunate enough to experience both those things.
Well, you did it in a pretty high-profile way. You spent some time working with this guy right here.
Oh, yeah. That's a guy who has challenged me in every way possible. But at the end of every comment I have about David Letterman is the reminder that he gave me an amazing opportunity. It is from that association that many, many good things have happened for me.
How long did you direct it? Was it 95 that you first started directing? with him?
95, it was almost to the day a 20-year run
Wow.
as the director. I was given a 3-week contract. Let's see what you got.
Well, I know how that works. When I got the gig with Frankie Valli, they took me sight unseen on some recommendations and I told them, okay, guarantee me 1 month, and if that doesn't work out, and they still haven't told me if it's worked out yet, so we'll see.
Don't ask.
I guess that's the answer, yeah. There you are backstage at the Letterman show, I think, right?
Yeah, boy, you got a good research department.
Oh, I've got a whole team here, big crack staff here.
I can see that. Yes, that's in the control room of the Ed Sullivan Theater, which is in the basement of the Ed Sullivan Theater. A lot of challenging times in that room. Behind me there is our technical director, Tim Kennedy. He knows my strengths, he knows my weaknesses, and he is so good at his job that he understands the value of discretion. So he picks the right spots to save me, and he picks the right spots to listen to what I say. It's a great partnership.
You know, we have been playing at that venue for decades, and I know that Frankie was the guy who ultimately decided on that place as the venue, and I know it was important for him to have the venue be an arena versus being a theater. I'm sure economics factored in there somewhere. You never know.
Oh, we don't talk about that. we do it for the art, don't we, Robbie?
I'll tell you what, I do, and I know you do too, because I worked with you, and I can tell, man.
Yeah, but I will say that Frankie was very clear with me that the arena needed to be captured both with audio and video. He wanted to get that across, that it was not a theater, that it was an arena. And you and I, we were able to get a great sound. I think we captured the room, which was very important to all of us.
Absolutely. Well, I think that was a powerful interview, especially poignant, based on the fact that he passed away last year. And it was sad and sudden. It was I don't know many of the details other than I know that it was a skiing accident. But there were some very special insights that can only come from the director of a video like that, and also a legendary director who had so much credits to his name. Let's go to another one of the videos. This is our Mohegan Sun Memories time, and it was triggered by the fact that Senior B said Jammin' Java's library belongs in the Library of Congress. By the way, so that Jammin' Java is one of the only places that you can find some of the unique history of rock and roll music, at least through my lens here. And so check it out, and go check out some of those old videos. They're not, if you go way, way back, they're not all identified very clearly. I'm going to go through that and get that done so people can go back there and watch. But there's a lot of really great content. So I encourage you to do that. And tell your friends about Jammin' Java. The more people, the better. The more people, the better the algorithms and all that kind of stuff. Let's go back again, like I mentioned, to how about Beggin'? Beggin', of course, is a great song written by Bob Gaudio and Peggy Farina. Correct me if I'm wrong, some of you Jammin' Java. We have some of the most knowledgeable people about the Four Seasons who watch this show. But I'm pretty sure it was written by Bob Gaudio and Peggy Farina. And then a couple years ago, it was recorded again by a German band. I think they were German or Italian, maybe? German, whatever. Italian band, I think, called Måneskin. And they it was like the biggest song on Spotify for a long time. I mean, it was massive hit again. And then a couple years ago, for this Clive Davis thing, we shared the stage with those guys, and that was kind of a fun thing. But here is our current version of Beggin'.
Put your loving hand out, baby, yeah. I'm begging you. Put your loving hand out, baby. Riding high when I was king. Played it hard and fast. empty shell used to be. The shadow of my life is hanging over me. Broken man without a goal. Don't even stand a devil's chance to win my soul. Put your loving hand out, baby, yeah. I'm begging you. Put your loving hand out, baby. I'm fighting hard to hold my own. No, I just can't make it all alone. I'm holding on, I can't hold back. Now that big brass ring is a shade of black. Put your loving hand out, baby, yeah. I'm begging you. Put your loving hand out, baby. I'm begging you. Put your loving hand out, baby, yeah. I'm begging you. Put your loving hand out.
All right. Yeah, those are cut off, aren't they? So that's begging. And, of course, by the way, and for those Robbie's Records fans will know that Sarah Nimitz and I have a version of begging that we did, which is totally unique to us and very different from Frankie's version. But check it out on Robbie's Records. So I digress. Let's go to some pictures from Mohegan Sun from this past, well, this would be last Saturday. There is the entranceway, the marquee and the entrance into the Mohegan Sun. Yeah, Tom was saying, yeah, I did all the keyboards in that concert. Through the decades, we have gone from, we've varied. Sometimes we have 2 keyboard players. Sometimes we have 1. Sometimes we have 2 guitars. Sometimes we have 1. We've kind of varied it around. And no, we did. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we didn't do begging. Clarify. Oh, man. I digress. No, we did Tell It to the Rain. It's not Can't Stand the Rain, but it's Tell It to the Rain. Oh, thank you for catching that one on me. See, you guys are experts out there. We've got a lot of very knowledgeable people who watch Jam and Java. So there is the entranceway to the Mohegan Sun Arena. And there is, that's Pete DeSiena, who played trumpet for us. Pete DeSiena, and that's his wife, Jamie. And they used to live in Southern California. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Senior B. Alex. Yeah, that's what was confusing. Alex Nestor and I did a version of Beggin', which is kind of a cool arrangement, different, very different. Again, but Pete DeSiena, a North Texas State grad, he's a great trumpet player. He moved out to L.A. just as a young guy, and he got right into the studios, the big guys. The biggest names, Rick Baptist, Wayne Bergeron, Harry Kim, started using Pete as their sub, and he was doing great in the studios. He's originally from New Jersey, and then he lived out in Santa Clarita, and when I was the music director at the church out there at Bethlehem, and then Jamie, his wife there, she actually conducted the children's choir at Bethlehem. For me out there, Bethlehem Lutheran Church, and Pete played at some Jam for Jesus's, and he's a brilliant trumpet player. They moved back to New Jersey, where he's originally from, a few years ago, and so he's one of my top call trumpet players in the New York, New Jersey area. Pete DeSiena and his wife Jamie, and that was their 22nd anniversary which was kind of cool that they got a chance to come to the show. So, yes, John Kratzer says he's a fabulous trumpet player. Yeah, he is, no question about it. And one of the nicest guys, too. Just a great guy. And he's been doing our shows for over 20 years. Let's see who else we get. Oh, here's some pictures. This is us out in front of the casino. This is Mike Eamon. He is one of our road crew guys, and he handles all the video stuff, and he also helps with backline and helps with my keyboards and stuff. This is the view at the Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. It's about an hour and a half, I think, from Boston. Again, about 2 hours from New York, something like that. And it's just beautiful country out there. There's the stage set up this year. It's amazing that this crew, I mean, that's just a tip of the iceberg in terms of the crew. They set this big stage up in the middle, and then they move it all back to the end. That place is packed, and it was packed, 10,000 people. There's Frankie in the dressing room that is Maynard Strickland. Maynard Strickland is my dear friend. He has been closely associated with my good friend Joey D, also good friends with Tony Orlando, and he is actually one of the chiefs, one of the Indian chiefs, and he's a music connoisseur. He's been going back. He's known Joey D since back in the days of the Peppermint Lounge. He used to go to the Peppermint Lounge, and he's also Hammond organ connoisseurs. He has two Hammond organ, two B3s. There's Maynard Strickland and I again. He's a great guy. Great guy. Hey, Robbie, what's up? Love you featuring the crew guys and staff. It's a labor of love. You know what? It is a labor of love. And one of the things that Jerry Foley mentioned out there, he says, we do it for the art. And there's no question. That's what has driven me. If it was anything else, I would be doing something else or making a lot more money. But there you have it. I don't think you can be in the music business if you're not in it for the music. Let's see who else. Okay, there's a. All right. So there's kind of before the show, and it ultimately was packed. It looks pretty packed there now. That's me taking a picture. Oh, here, let me go here. Here's our new guitar player. No, that's not our new guitar player. How about this one? What the heck here? There we go. That's Chris Vasquez. He did a great job this weekend too. He's been working his tail off. We had 5 rehearsals, and so the band is rocking. There I am before the show, kind of getting ready to go. There's the dressing room, pop room. I don't know why they put me in the pop room. These are these banners. Look at these banners that were up there at the casino. J-Lo, record setter, only concert of the year, 2011. First ever TV special, Frankie Valli, 2022. Billy Joel, first ever residency, 2008. Bon Jovi, highest grossing artist, record setter. Matt, and I'm not sure who that other guy is. Okay, so Joey DeFrancesco. John says, Joey DeFrancesco mentioned him when he came through Kansas City. The world is missing a bright star with him gone. He's with the Lord now. Amen, amen, amen. And there I am getting Matt Rife comedian. Okay, thanks, Matt. I didn't know who that was. All right, let's go to, I have a kind of a back here. I've got a kind of a cool little thing. Man, we've got a lot to cover here too still. Let's do, by the way, and in my dressing room, here's one of the things I love here. They have a piano in there, and it's this great old, it's out of tune, but it's here. Check this out. Yeah. And now here, and this is a little walkabout before, or this is before the show. Check it out. All right. Are we there? Mm-hmm. Okay. Here, we're going to show you the stage, Frankie's stage.
Here we go.
So we're going to have a saxophone player here. Actually, here, I've got a different walk. That was from a couple years ago. I think this is from this. Okay. All right. Are we there? Mm-hmm. Okay. Here, we're going to show. And this is when they tear it all down at the end of the night. The stage is all moved out of the way. Everything is gone. It's now an empty arena. Isn't this wild? All right. Well, let me go to part 2 of the Jerry Foley interviews. Let's see. Where are you, Jerry Foley vid? All right, here we go. Check this out, everybody. So there you are again backstage with the Letterman show. Gosh, doing 5 shows a week.
I loved it. You just, it's kind of, you're a baseball guy. It's kind of like a baseball schedule in that you don't have time to dwell on what went wrong because there's a show the next day. It's a chance at daily redemption. If you're not happy with your performance on Monday, you got 4 more shows to kind of have a good week. I have just the best memory and appreciation for that experience.
Here's another shot from your Letterman days.
That is still the Letterman Theater. That's the Ed Sullivan Theater.
Oh, yes.
And if you see over my shoulder there, that is the desk that David Letterman sat at all those years.
Yeah.
So we're looking from the stage into the audience. I can't tell you how much I appreciated working in the Ed Sullivan Theater.
I mean, it's so historic. It's like when we recently played Royal Albert Hall. It's like every great performer has ever performed there. Same with the Ed Sullivan Theater. I mean, just think.
I would say almost every day of the week as I was making that walk, I had an appreciation for being in a place like this. It's like the Grand Ole Opry or the Fillmore East. Just pick a venue. The Ed Sullivan Theater is right up there with it. I just love the place.
By the way, I love the broad perspective that you just painted with those 2 sentences. The Grand Ole Opry, the Fillmore East, and the Ed Sullivan Theater. Talk about diversity, but all top of the food chain. Talk about superstars. How was it working on that show with Paul? Sir Paul, I should say.
You know, I was right up there with working with Frankie Valli. It's somebody that you grew up with, somebody who was a talent on a global scale, like Frankie, and then you find yourself in the same room with them. They're listening to what you have to say. It's like walking on the moon. It's just such an exciting sensory overload. On this particular day, it was interesting because the city of New York was very concerned about crowd control. And
I can imagine.
It was looking a little grim late in the day because the police were putting some restrictions on us. And one of the restrictions was that the sound check had to be done behind a black drape.
Oh, wow.
And if you're a television director, the sound check is the time that you're going to get your shots.
Sure.
We didn't really get a rehearsal for that one.
All right. And then this is part of the team. Now, there are some of my buddies up there. I see, of course, back in the back, Frank Green, who's played many, many Frankie Valli shows, the trumpet player. Mm-hmm. I see Bones Malone, who's played dozens and dozens and dozens of Frankie Valli shows with us. And my buddy Paul Schaefer. How was it working with that team of musicians? Speaking
specifically of Bones and Frank and Aaron Hecht, one of the things I miss the most is hearing that band every day.
Because Great band.
A tremendous band, and those horns just lit up your life. I think you and I have talked about this. It's big brassy show business, which was a big part of Letterman's edict. He wanted a big late night show, a big late night sound. You really couldn't get it done without the horns.
And Paul Schaefer is a brilliant musician and a brilliant musical mind, and just a great guy too.
And a tremendous comedic talent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and their partnership, I don't think it's been replicated. I mean, Johnny had Doc, of course,
Right.
and all respect to current late night band leaders. When I see Paul, I tell him the one thing that's still missing in late night is Paul Schaefer. He could do it all. Oh, look at this. You guys were together.
Paul and I have been buddies for a long time. We both share a passion for Hammond organ. There we are at Patsy's, actually.
Neighborhood joint.
Neighborhood joint, yeah. Any more perspectives on this concert?
Anybody who has an appreciation for Frankie is not going to be disappointed. As you and I have discussed, this is also an historical record. I think this is a concert that will live on because it came out so well, and Frankie was at the top of his game, and I was, just as I was thrilled to be involved with David Letterman, and I was thrilled to be involved with Paul Schaefer and Paul McCartney and everybody else who came through the Ed Sullivan Theater, to spend a couple of days with Frankie Valli and your band was a career highlight. I'm so grateful.
It was a joy for all of us, and you could not have done a more brilliant job. And I thank you so much for coming on Jammin' Java. I will keep in touch with you, and I'm just hoping and praying for the Dodgers and the Yankees in that World Series, my friend.
Well, then we'll have to make sure we sit together for that one.
I would love it, man. I would just love it. All the best, my friend. Take care.
All right, Robbie. Continued success.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And this is when they tear it all down. That is kind of a bittersweet interview to watch, and to know that he passed away last year. And, he and I, because we worked shoulder to shoulder for a long time on this, we became good friends through working on this project together, because not only we did those 2 days that we worked on it there at the show, we were working on it for months after that in post-production and in pre-production prior to as well. But he and I are, of course, big baseball guys, and he was a New York Yankee fan. And how ironic is it that we talked about that? I mentioned he opened and praying for a New York Dodgers World Series, and this was last year when this interview took place. This is, hold it now. Oh, he passed away last year, and that's what it was. And indeed, last year there was that New York Dodger World Series. He wouldn't have been happy with the outcome, but we finally got it. Hey, my friend Vince Martell in the house. Hey, Vinny, how you doing? Vinny's been really busy. He's been playing with his band, of course, he's in Vanilla Fudge. And I've got to tell you, I was on the plane yesterday, Vinny, and I was wearing my Vanilla Fudge T-shirt, and the band Sugar Ray was on there. And they said, hey, I like that shirt. I said, oh, what band are you in? And they said, Sugar Ray. And so they are big fans of Vanilla Fudge. They said, legendary. Let's go to another video from our PBS special. Let's see what I've got in the archives here. Bear with me a second. So rest in peace, my dear friend Jerry Foley. My prayers go out for his family and friends who I know miss him. There's his, by the way, there is his credentials there, his resume. He's director for Letterman for 20 years, 1995, and prior to that, from 88 to 93, he was the technical director. He's got 21 Emmy nominations, 9 DGA award nominations, directed over 39,000 hours, 3,900 hours of late-night TV, directed concerts also for Adele, Taylor Swift, Tim McGraw, Tony Bennett, the Beatles, many others, and of course, he was the director for Frankie Valli, A Life on Stage. And here's another one of those segments. Oh, this is a great song. Check this out, everybody.
My eyes adored you, though I never laid a hand on you. My eyes adored you, like a million miles away. away from me, you couldn't see how I adored you. So close and yet so far. Carried your books from school, playing make-believe you're married to me. You were 5th grade, I was 6th, when we came to be. Walking home every day, over Barnacle Bridge and Bay, till we grew into the me and you, went our separate ways. My eyes adored you, though I never laid a hand on you. My eyes adored you. Like a million miles away from me, you couldn't see how I adored you. So close and yet so far. Headed for city lights, climbed the ladder up to fortune and fame. Worked my fingers to the bone, made myself a name. Funny, I seem to find that no matter how the years unwind, still I reminisce about the girl I miss and the love I left behind. My eyes adored you, though I never laid a hand on you. My eyes adored you. Like a million miles away from me, you wouldn't see how I adored you. So close and yet so far. My eyes adored you. All my life I will remember how warm and tender we were way back then. Whoa, baby. Full of feelings and regrets. Oh no, I'll never forget you, my child friend. Though I never laid a hand on you, my eyes adored you. Though I never laid a hand on you. So close and yet so far. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. That is a great song. I love this shot, by the way, in this thing where they got it from behind my keyboard, just with my hands there and Frankie there. But that is a great song. Written by and John Kratzer Menson, who's, again, played trumpet with us many, many times. My Eyes Adored You and Silence is Golden, my two favorite songs to be on stage. Silence is Golden was written by Kenny Nolan and Bob Crew. Kenny Nolan and Bob Crew also wrote the song Lady Marmalade. In 1974, My Eyes Adored You was number 1 on the charts, written by Kenny Nolan and Bob Crew. It was replaced on the charts by Lady Marmalade, written by Kenny Nolan and Bob Crew. Two songs that are totally different, two songs that followed each other at number 1. Pretty wild, by the same writers. Let's go to, well, I've got a couple more pictures here. This is some more pictures from back in those. There again is the empty arena. There's Frankie Valli, the Four Seasons, A Life on Stage. If you get a chance to watch that, check it out on YouTube, or hopefully if it comes back on PBS at some point in time. There's another shot from that concert. There's a shot from a TV, I guess. That's another screenshot. And again, there's the audience. Frankie Valli, this is back in 2022, I guess. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, A Live on Stage. The Jersey Boys celebrate 60th anniversary, their first number 1 hit. Yeah, and 2022 was the 60th anniversary of Sherry, which, of course, was 1962. There's, again, another shot. There's Carmen behind me there. There's a kind of a good shot of the group. A trip down memory lane with the Jersey Boys on the 60th anniversary. The group that sold over 175 million records is captured live at the 10,000-seat Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut. There's another cool shot. And there's that same shot that I mentioned. And there's, again, another. There's a great shot of Frankie getting ready to go on stage. So back to where were we here? We were not only here. So we played Saturday night at the Mohegan Sun, but Friday night, actually Thursday, we flew into Youngstown, Ohio, and we played at the Dior Performing Arts Center, which is a really cool place. And I really had a lot of fun seeing a bunch of friends there, too. Barry and Ronell were there. Larry Visaki was there. And I've got some great pictures. Actually, I've got a great little video here. See if you know who this guy is.
All right, everybody, I'm here with the great Ray Boom Boom Mancini, welterweight champion of the world.
I appreciate that.
And friend of Frankie's. How long you know Frankie?
I met Frankie in 1982, I believe. 1982. So it's been quite a while. 40-something years.
Amazing.
And I was in my early 20s. He was just a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was saying, I know how old Frankie is now because I moved back to Youngstown November of 2014.
Yeah.
And on a Tuesday, I believe it was the 22nd of November, right before, 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So I made an appearance in Vegas. I'm on the way back, flying back, and who's flying? Frankie. We run into each other at the airport. And he says, "Hey, Raymond, how you doing? Ba-beep, ba-bop-boo." Guess what? I just turned 80. Oh my God, you look great. So that's why I've been back 11 years. So that's how long I know Frank. That's how long I know how old he is, without asking, because I wouldn't do that. But yeah.
Well, I remember you've been coming around and hanging with Frankie for decades.
Yeah,
You know.
So I said I met him in 1982, and I believe the first time I met him was either in L.A.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, in New York when I was still
You were
living
still
in New York.
fighting?
Still fighting, living in New York. Or a mutual friend, Tommy Dreesen.
Oh, yeah, Tommy,
had an
great
event,
friend.
in Chicago for a sister who had cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
And so we went there, and it was day for Darlene. And Frankie Avalon, Frankie Valley.
I was joking. you must still work out then.
No, you gotta make it a lifestyle. But what I've learned now is, what my doctor told me, before I came back 11 years ago, because my body was breaking down. He said, you gotta work out smarter, not harder.
Right.
I said, my new mantra. So I had a total shoulder replacement in 2020. Total replacement. So now I just do things, I do yoga. I've been doing yoga for 22 years, so that's smart. 2002, so almost 20, yeah. That's the best thing that's, it's the pounding, you elongate the body, right?
Yeah.
The muscles.
That's good.
So,
Ray Boom Boom, I have a feeling you're Italian, Ray, because you talk with your hands, my brother. Is that true?
Well, I'm not Italian. I'm Siciliano.
That's-
Siciliano. And people that say, it's the same. No. When you're in Italy, they tell you Italiani, Sicilian, Italians and Sicilians. So we don't consider ourselves Italian, nor do the Italians consider us that. But we're under one flag, so.
I love it, brother. Well, great to see you always.
He's great. And I've known him forever, too, for decades and decades. And he mentioned Tom Dreesen. Tom Dreesen is a great friend, and Tom Dreesen is a fantastic comedian who opened for Sinatra for decades, and he was also on Letterman's show, I don't know how many, like 60 or 70 times. But I talked to him the other day, and he's going to be a guest one of these days. So we'll have Tom Dreesen as our guest, and I know he's got some great stories. Great comedian from Chicago originally. Senior B says, he kept his wits about him despite all the punches. You are so right. That is, I thought the same thing because I hadn't seen him for about a few years, but he is. Oh yeah, he's sharp as a tack. And so many boxers, it seems like they slow down. I mean, you get hit in the head so many times, but no, he looks like, I think he's 62, he said, but he's looked like he could fight today. And I've got some great pictures from our trip to wherever Youngstown. Here we go. Here's some of the pictures. Oh, and so how wild is this? So we flew into Pittsburgh and then drove to Youngstown, which is about an hour and a half. Yeah, CTE like football players. I'm walking through the airport and I hear this, "Hey, Robbie." And who is it? It's my buddy. It's my buddy Adolfo Acosta, who's with Tower Power. Now, Tower Power, he was on his way. Now, Adolfo Acosta is a great friend, a great trumpet player. He's been with Tower Power now for over 20 years. And Adolfo also used to live in L.A. He played at my church many times with me. He also, on Easter Sundays, he played Jam for Jesus. But he's also been with Tower Power, like I said. And then he moved to New Mexico a few years ago. And so I miss having him in L.A., but when we go to New Mexico, he's the first guy I call to play trumpet with us. But he tours with all the time with Tower Power, and he's a brilliant trumpet player. And he went to school, North Texas State, and he also played. I think he and Pete DeSiena were at North Texas State. By the way, North Texas State is one of the premier music schools in the country, and the majority of the horn players of all the horn players that we hire, like John Kratzer, but like Adolfo, like Pete, the majority of them, I would say, have gone to school at North Texas State, one of the premier music schools in the country. So it was great to see Adolfo. They were on the way. He was in Pittsburgh changing planes somewhere. There's our front of house guy, Jim Sanders. His nickname is Redford, and he has been with us off and on for 40 years. He is absolutely brilliant at what he does, and we are blessed to have him because you're only as good as whoever is controlling the sound in the front of the house. Let's see, you got some more pictures. There's Steven and Zemko. It was really great to see them. I saw them. They've been coming to shows and always sitting right in the front or first or second row there. And great, nice people. And it was great to see you guys, Steve. And Steve was watching. I don't know if he's still on. If you are, Steve, it was great to see both you guys. There's my buddy Larry Vasaki, and who just commented Youngstown was a blast, and it was great to see Larry, that's for sure. Hey, John, Scott Engelbright. There are so many North Texas guys. And I forget the guy who was the teacher. He used to be our guy. But you're right. I mean, there's got to be at least 10 lead trumpet players that came from North Texas State. There we are backstage after the show. That's left to right. That's Alfredo Lopez. Alfredo Lopez is our bass player. Great talent. That's Noah Rivera with the handlebar mustache there. And then, of course, there's Boom Boom Mancini, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, the pride of Youngstown. And then that is Rick Schobel. And Rick Schobel is the tour manager for Vanilla Fudge. When I went to see Vanilla Fudge, he could not have been more gracious. He walked me right back, and he was so kind to me, and I really and he and his mom came to see the show in Youngstown. It was great to see them. And you notice, I don't know if you're still watching, Vinny, but you notice the shirt that I'm wearing, of course, and that's your tour manager, isn't it? Oh, and Steve said, good to see you. Yeah, great to see you, Steve, always. And you too, Larry. It was what a night in Youngstown. Youngstown was so much fun. By the way, this is Austin Carr, who is a legendary basketball player with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Great, and a really nice guy. He was backstage hanging out. Okay, there's left to right. There's me, my Vanilla Fudge shirt. There's Boom Boom Mancini, and that's Ronell and Barry, who have been friends who've been coming around about as long, I think, since the early 80s. There's outside the venue, you can see that's the tour bus, and then behind that is the truck that carries everything. And it was a beautiful venue, and I took some pictures of the venue. It's, again, one of those, we play in a lot of those old theaters that have been refurbished, remodeled, and this is one of those at the DeFore Performing Arts Center, DeFore in Youngstown, Ohio. Caroline Reich says, "Oh, what a night." Let's see what else we got. Here's some more pictures of the venue. Look how beautiful this is. It's really neat when they refurbish these old theaters, because there's no way you could build anything that fancy these days. And again, there's another picture of the tour bus and the Now I think you might have taken these pictures, Larry. And sent them to me. Yeah, thanks. That's a good catch. And you can see Boom Boom definitely talks with his hands, doesn't he? And he looks like, at 62, he looks like he's in shape. Well, he said he works out a couple hours a day. There's hanging out backstage with Boom Boom and Barry, Ronell, and Frankie. There's Rick Schobel and I discussing world who knows what in my Vanilla Fudge T-shirt. There again, Rick Schobel, Vinnie Martell's tour manager. I like that shot. I think you must have taken that, Larry. And there's Veronica, and she does all our merch. She is the wife of our truck driver, Dan, and they travel all around in. They travel on that big truck and across the country with all of our stuff. Like, there's another picture. There's another one of your shots, I think, Larry. Thank you so much. It was so great to see so many of you, Larry. Who are watching tonight. And so many of you jammers, Larry Visaki, and Larry and Barry Ronell and Steve and Ann Zemko, and who else did I miss here that were there? Let's do another video here. Let's see what other videos that I might have from that show. Okay, Who Loves You? Written by Bob Gaudio.
Are you ready out there? I said, are you ready out there? One more time, are you ready out there? Who's gonna love you, mama? Who loves you, pretty baby? When tears are in your eyes and you can't find your way, it's hard to make believe you're happy when you're gray. Baby, when you're feeling like you'll never see the morning light, Come to me, baby, you'll see. Everybody, come on now. A little bit louder. Who loves you, pretty baby? Who's gonna love you, mama? Who loves you, pretty baby? Rock and roll, yeah, come on. Come on now. Come to me, baby, see. Everybody sing now, come on. Who loves you, pretty baby? Who's gonna love you, mama? I said, yeah. All right.
All right. All right is right. Frankie Valli, 91 years young right now. And so that was in 2022. And we filmed that in April. So he had already turned 88 at that point in time. Steve Kretcher says, who would have ever thought that the live shows would be as good as the studio cuts from 50 years ago? I'm really am proud of all these guys in this band and Frankie and the whole cast that we carry with us of extraordinary, talented people from behind the scenes to on the stage. It really is, if I do say so myself, it is a great show. And I encourage, if you haven't seen Frankie Valli live, make sure you check the schedule and come and see us somewhere. We basically go out, our typical schedule is we go out 6 shows a month. 2 3-day weekends per month. So check the calendar and come and see us. And thanks so much for watching Jammin' Java. I appreciate each one of you spending an hour and a half every Monday evening with me. And you can check out all of these things on YouTube, of course. Go back and watch any of the past shows. Tell your friends. Oh, thank you so much. This is our 18-year-old Alex, who watches our show regularly, one of the regular jammers. So God's big blessings to each and every one of you. I will see you all next Monday. Who knows what kind of musical adventures we're going to go on next Monday on Jammin' Java. God's big blessings to each and every one of you. Thanks. Good night, y'all.
into space. I like smoking lightning, heavy metal thunder, racing with the wind, and this feeling that I'm under. Yeah, nothing gonna make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space like a true nation.